basically. All right. We have a few fun topics for you guys tonight. Fun. I say fun, and down here says Easter bombings. I'm sorry for what I am, everyone.
Yeah, we're just silly. The topic's silly. We're silly. Yeah.
So, a brief overview of the the Easter bombings. In Sri Lanka, there were some bombings. 2 Sundays ago. It's been so long. A lot of people died. It was really sad. People were there. There were multiple buildings that were bombed, hotels and churches, and they were bombed on that Easter Sunday. And what was it? It said officially at first the death toll started at 359. But soon after it lowered down to 253, and about 500 people were injured. The huge miscount was due to the misidentification of body parts, because there were a lot of body parts everywhere. It was really, really grotesque. It was really bad. It was really sad. This was an attack. This was a religious attack. I would like to make that clear. I watched Kim Iverson, who was a wonderful guest on our show recently. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. She covered this soon after this happened, and we weren't able to touch it till now, but I still wanted to touch base on this because it was really important. It was really sad. It was really traumatic for everyone involved. On her account of it, she pointed out that she couldn't find any story that said that this was an attack done on Christians. This was like the stories that she found said that this was like a religious attack, and then Obama had come out and said that something like these people who were attacked were Easter worshippers, which was strange. It was weird. And so Kim was really upset that we can't say that Christians were being attacked because mostly of this identity politics. Like, we can't say that it was Christians being attacked because they're the ones doing the attacking all the times. But hey, no, this was an attack on Christians, and it was. It's not just going to stop at Christians. This group. If I can. I don't have it down here. Do you remember the kind of religion that it was an Islamic extremist group that committed the bombings? I can't remember what they're called. It starts with an M. Do you remember?
I know that they pledged their allegiance to ISIS in the same time period. Yes. Yes,
they did.
It doesn't matter what their name is. I wouldn't say it here. I wouldn't say it. They don't get any recognition.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I don't remember, and I didn't write it out though. So that happened, and a few things that happened afterwards. I wanted to point out is that the president of Sri Lanka, if I can speak words tonight, thank you, is Maithripala.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah, Sirisena, and this kind of struck me odd and crazy, but their president said that there will be a total reorganization of Sri Lanka's security apparatus, and he argued that the prosecution of the military intelligence officers for abuses during the country's long civil war had left the nation vulnerable. Furthermore, he stated, every household in the country will be checked, and that the list of permanent residents of every house will be established to ensure no unknown persons could live anywhere. So that being said, they're doing this because they're at the time when I did the research, a lot of the people who were involved in the bombings were still at large.
Right.
After I did the research, I still heard they were still finding people, but some of the people that they were finding, like the one or two of them, the husbands that were already found or killed, their wives, when they went to get them, they blew up the building that they were in. They were not going quietly. So it's important to seek these people out, right? Because they want justice, and justice should come about. But the president of Sri Lanka is going just straight authoritarian, like he's messing with other people's rights to find these people. He said every household will be checked. That's the same. That is exactly the same as like after 9/11. The police can come in every single house and check, right? Because every household in the country will be checked. He said,
insanity.
It's pretty crazy. It really is. Furthermore, and I don't have this in my notes, but I remember it. A few days after the bombing, the president outlawed any face coverings in the country.
Right.
Which is obviously going to point out Muslims in the country, because there's a like, I don't think they're the majority of the country. Obviously, they're a minority, but still, that's really going to fuck with their lives, because that doesn't mean that women who live there, who have to have their face coverings and their hijabs and whatnot, that doesn't mean that they can just take them off now. No, that means they have to stay home. They can't go in, because their religion and their husbands are not, and their fathers are not going to let them out of their homes. So it's really going to suppress their culture and their numbers.
Yes, these things hurt the most vulnerable of every community first, before they hurt everyone else. And unfortunately, in this situation, it's the women who now are prisoners because they can't leave their house. Yeah. Doesn't matter if I agree with their ideology. Treating them subhuman is completely wrong.
Absolutely.
Completely wrong.
I think hijabs are stupid. I think no one should have to cover their face. I don't think you need to have the little Jewish hat. I forget what it's called.
Yarmulke.
Yarmulke. That's right. Yarmulke. Damn it. I don't think any of that's necessary. I think it's silly. I think it's stupid. But I think everyone has the right to wear that. And I don't. And especially if you believe in these things,
right?
You believe in the negative connotations that come with nothing.
Yeah.
So it's very, very suppressive. Yeah, it's a lot of bullshit that the president went straight to this. It's not just like, but it's comparable to isolation camps for them. It's like just setting them apart, treating them not citizens.
Yep.
A few more notes here before we move on. If I can read what I wrote, because these are things. The man who led the attacks, he was a radical preacher who had gathered up a following on YouTube, actually, where he was posting videos that included calls for violence against non-Muslims. And that's something that's important here, because, as I said, this was an attack. This was a religious attack, and this was an attack on Christians and Catholics.
Right.
But this isn't all that they targeted. They didn't like anyone who was non-Muslim was the point, and they had called for violence against other religious groups as well.
Right.
Mohammed Ibrahim Mohammed Zubair, which is all one name, of the Council of Katankudi,
Yeah, it's hard.
says that that someone from our area has been linked to these attacks is really worrying for us. We are shocked and upset by it. Our community doesn't support hardliners. We believe in harmony and unity. He is from the same. He's from the same area that
I know what you're saying.
Zaran Hashim is from, who is the radical preacher who led the attacks. They're from the same area, and they were, I believe, part of the same Islamic kind of bigger group or type of religion. It's the National Tawheed Jamath.
Yeah.
But
I know there's
Quran,
big ones. I hate reading them out loud.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing this. Yeah. But they had broken off from the National Tawheed Jamath and just called themselves Tawheed Jamath.
Right.
And so, anyways, my point being with these notes is that this wider religious group was really upset. This community of Muslims that he's from, they were very upset and very, very worried because what the president of Sri Lanka now is doing, Sirisena, he's marginalizing them. He's treating them as they're subhuman, like all of them. Yep. And putting laws in place and going through everyone's home, and it's not fair to those who are not involved.
Right.
Obviously, everyone knows like how I feel about the Islamic faith. I think it's crap, and I think it's more violent than the Christian faith. Excuse me. But
all lies, nonetheless.
I'm sorry.
I said it's all lies, nonetheless.
Yeah, they're all lies. It's all bullshit. But we still shouldn't marginalize human beings. That's my point. But all in all, this was a really, really sad event that happened, and it's still going on. They're still looking for people, and people are still dying over it. And this is going to lead to more human rights offenses. So the whole thing's sad. I'll try to keep everyone up on it when we have time to go back and recap on stories that we've covered recently.